My name is Ayana Aduse, and I'm the founder and executive director of ACEP Incorporated. It's African Child Cultural Exchange Program.
Hey, it's Kellen, and today on Diversified Game, you guys are going to get some US and some African game. I have Ayana. She's going to give us the game on her organization and what she's doing for the culture, for the children, for, just humanity. Welcome to the show. How are you doing today?
I'm doing well. Thank you very much. How are you?
Man, I'm blessed by the best, and I'm thankful that Kai out there in London connected us, whatnot, and that you were so kind to give the interview and some time after long trips of travel. You make it look great, but tell us about your organization. What do you do? How can folks get out of Babylon and get into your bag and travel with you?
Okay, my organization, one of my organizations is a nonprofit. It's called African Child Cultural Exchange Program, where we sponsor high school students from underserved communities for study abroad, international study abroad opportunities. So I'm currently raising funds for students from Washington, D.C. to travel to Ghana next summer to have a cultural exchange with students here and high school students here in Ghana. So we just got started. I'm really excited. This is something that I've been wanting to do for a very long time. And I think it's very necessary that our youth here in Ghana or in Africa on the continent interact with other students in the diaspora. So I think it's important that this exchange is happening.
This is awesome. I know why we were connected now for sure. It's not just the Africa piece, but it's the me always running my mouth saying, tours should be done even in high school for really all children, but especially Black children, so they can learn more than just slavery, what they were before slavery. What I have not done is done it with kids. And we're going to get into that because we take groups of 30 using a client's platform, but kids is complicated. So what made you so bold? Because I would assume, looking at you, you don't have any kids and you're free to roam the world. What made you say, I needed to do this for this age bracket? And how difficult was it? Because you have to have so many chaperones and, parents' approval and money. So, give us the game on how that even came about.
Sure. So I am I'm always a teacher. I'm an educator, but I'm a former certified teacher in US. So I taught high school and I taught elementary school in Philadelphia and in Washington, D.C. It wasn't until I taught elementary school where I was co-facilitating a lesson with a history teacher. And this unit, it was just about slavery. It was just about the new settlers come to the new world, and it really, it made me think like we really don't really study before slavery here in the U.S. So back and forth from my trips to Ghana, I would bring artifacts back to the elementary school students, and they were so intrigued. They had so many questions, so it kind of clicked for me to put this together. I'm like, what's the best way for them to learn about Ghana than to come? So working with high school students, I thought that they could be a little bit more mature with understanding this exchange. So I decided, and I've gone on many field trips. I've planned many of activities for high school students. So I figured that this would be the best way for them to gain the lost or stolen knowledge for them to come themselves. So it has been a roller coaster of a ride. Raising money is always fun. I have not, so for this cohort, I have not selected my students yet. We're going to select students in September from one of my high schools that I started teaching in Washington, D.C. I haven't revealed to the school yet, but I have spoken to the school leaders and they are really excited to get started. So Right now, we're just in a fundraising stage. We're putting together the 2-week program here in Ghana. So that's what I'm working on now. Just putting together the activities. We're meeting with the school here where the students will have the exchange. And yeah, I'm just having board meetings right now. Best ways to fundraise and to, to best roll out this inaugural exchange.
Now I'm gonna push a little bit, because
Okay.
when you say DC and then you talk about our kids, some of our kids are already rich at when they come out the womb in DC. They got that RFP government contracting, big money is in DC. $30,000 high schools and middle schools are in DC a month, folks. I'm not talking about a year. Step your game up. So I want to know the fundraising. Not all of us are broke. So with that fundraising, how expensive, or I should say, how inexpensive are these trips? Because that DC money just goes a little bit long and strong.
Yeah. So, I mean, we're having a lot of support from the fundraising, but unfortunately, the students in which I serve, they don't see a lot of that money ever. So I am for the underserved communities in Washington, D.C., because there's a lot of that. Even though it's D.C., we still have a lot of underserved communities and schools. Right now, we're just sponsoring 5 students and 2 chaperones. So that'll roughly be about $30,000. Right now, we have raised $5,000 just with the GoFundMe, but we are submitting our proposals for big funders in the upcoming weeks. So I know the school that I have, they're really well connected with a lot of like governmental officials. So I'm pretty sure that, like you said, there is big money in DC that will gain a lot of support, especially the charter schools. They have a lot of money, and there's a lot of organizations that do like to support travel for students in underserved communities.
Okay. Is there any money in the government that you know of where they sponsor, or people can apply and they can take their voucher and say, I want to go on a travel abroad? Just curious.
Yeah, so the government, I know there's a niche for students with disabilities and also students who are deemed at risk. So the at-risk population, if you go through the Department of Education, they do award grants for that population for students. So that's another grant that we are looking into getting into. I know I have a colleague who also has done the same thing. She has gotten grants through the Department of Education for students with disabilities, or if they're deemed at-risk students, for travel, for international travel. So there is money through the Department of Education.
Okay. And y'all, I had never looked that up. I'm just throwing out questions. So
Yeah.
that's why we have these interviews, because people have already done the research. So you can, it can benefit all of us, because with unity, we all win. Now, and I know prices, inflation, there's probably going to be a recession that we find out about in 3 weeks officially. But how much are these trips?
So we're budgeting for 2 weeks. It'll be $5,000 per attendee. So again, we're taking 5 students and 2 chaperones. So that may be roughly between $30,000 and $35,000. So it is quite expensive. Again, they're staying for 2 weeks. This pays for their flights. We're doing an intra-flight also when we're in Ghana. So all their flights, all the accommodations, their visas, their passports, they need yellow fever vaccine. So any expense that the student and chaperone will need, ASAP will cover it. So we're covering everything. Like I said, again, even passport and visa fees. So it covers everything. We want it to be totally free for all participants.
Okay, yellow fever and all the shots that you may have to get. And get your shots, folks. We don't want you over there being like me, getting sick because the mosquitoes just love your delicious skin, or that you like to eat snails on the side of the road, then you get E. coli. Would not recommend that, folks. But okay, so no, this is great stuff. And unlike some folks, I really like your vibe, because you are a very humble, kind vibe. You're not out there talking about I'm the greatest school psychologist in the world. Run them donations. That's always it's always nice. Um, what like what's the besides the money?
Mhm.
Getting the parents to buy into Africa, how easy has that been? Because, my grandmother went to Africa and it was like, whoa, she went. But then even now, when some of us started going, 15, 20 years ago, people say Africa, and you still get that reaction from a lot of Black Americans, in America, because they don't have a passport. But what has been the barrier to convince that your child won't be sold in human slavery and all that other stuff?
I think just given statistics, and since I've been here for a while, I can show and share my life. But I think the biggest thing is safety. They think that, we watch a lot of TV and a lot of YouTube. So we think that we're going to be kidnapped or I don't beheaded. I'm not sure. But just sharing my experience, and I guess they trust because I live here that, okay, wow, you live there. So it's initial shock, you live in Africa? Why? They don't understand really why I would choose to live in Africa. But definitely sharing my story, sharing my testimonies, and also sharing stories and testimonies of other people who have moved here has been very helpful with, convincing people to come. We also host tours here too. So just showing the work that we do, showing the amount of people that have come, it kind of alleviates some of this skepticism that some of the parents have.
And I bet people, when you come back to the States and you live in Africa and they say, well, how do you get your braces done? Because they have dentists and everything else.
We have everything here, especially in Ghana. Ghana is very much the city. Is very much thriving. They have all types of, you can get your dental work, you can get your facial work. That's why my face is a little shiny here from they do facials, manicures, pedi, whatever you want here in Accra and Ghana. I've been to other African countries, but I can only speak to Ghana because I live here. But it's just, I can find any amenity that I would in the States here in Accra.
And y'all, for those of you who are single, you can probably find a mate, a spouse. Ladies, bride price is ready for you. And fellas, when you go there, you better have it ready before you start trying to dip into the goods. You need to be prepared financially. How has it impacted your mental health living in Ghana?
Ooh, that's a great question. I once suffered from anxiety. I call it the rat race, trying to keep up in the rat race. I don't find that here, which I can appreciate. I feel like I don't have to worry about that day to day, going to work, competition. It's just different. I don't feel anxious. I don't feel like I have to be in that race. I just feel free. So it's definitely helped me with, I used to have the Sunday blues. I mean, I still work online. And I still, do a lot of work here, but it's just different. It's just a different vibe. Things are much slower here, which I can appreciate. Especially, I like to procrastinate sometimes. So when things take a little slower here, I'm like, oh, we have time. So I really do appreciate that I can have time to pace myself and think before I make decisions. Everything is just not, just coming at you fast. So that's definitely helped with my mental health a lot. Yeah.
And tell the folks, because I can hear somebody say, well, must be nice, which is always a hater's code for, oh, here comes the hate. But, you're a teacher who went to Ghana. Is this business full time? Or you say you work online, give somebody a quick little roadmap before they cash app you for some real consulting, how, you made it to say, I'm going to move there. You got a beautiful background behind you. Your lights are on, the water's on. I don't know if you're in Accra or Prom, but
Yeah.
in Accra, but
Oh
how
my God.
did you afford to do it? How do you afford to stay there? Because we've
Yeah.
seen some great stories coming out of Africa, but we've
Yeah.
also seen those people, who've taken their children and now are homeless, or, one person has to keep going back and forth. And it's
Yeah.
like, oh, that's not living. That's not the Africa I even want to know.
Yeah, I've heard about those stories. I think the number one thing to do, I think people rush and they romanticize Africa. And the first thing I did was visit, and I visited multiple times. My husband is actually Ghanaian, so that has made it so much easier because I have my trusted Ghanaian. Because I feel like a lot of people come and we don't understand the culture, we don't know the language. Just because we're all Black, I mean, we still have, still different cultures. And I think you have to have a plan. I knew I couldn't come to Ghana to find a job. I could have gotten a teaching job, but it couldn't really fulfill my lifestyle. Because I do like to travel and I like to do other things. My husband and I, we started a couple of businesses. Those businesses, again, they are like little seeds right now. So again, we are not like living off of our businesses yet. Again, like I said, I tutor online. So I tutor online and I teach online. So that's how I kind of get my income. And my husband, he's in IT, so he has, his IT thing that he does. So while we're fueling our businesses, we still have to work. But for me, it's just different because I can just sit here at my table and I don't have to commute and I don't miss that at all. So I feel like if you can find remote work, if you have a thriving business already, then I think they'll be good. But you definitely need an income. You definitely don't want to just come with your savings and that's it, because your money will go quickly here. It goes quickly. We think it's Africa is cheap, but I live in Accra. I live in East Legon, and it's really not cheap. um, well, for my apartment right now, again, my apartment, we rent an apartment here in Accra. We also live in Kumasi, but we have an apartment here in Accra, and it's about $258 a month. So it's a nice 1 bedroom in East Legon. So it's really not expensive, and we pay up for a year. So that's another way to alleviate my stress too. I don't have to worry about, paying a mortgage or paying a rent every month. So at least, paying throughout for the 1 year has really kind of helped us not, have to stress or worry about, paying those bills. But again, like I said, you have to have some kind of income, whether you're working remotely or you have a thriving business. You can't just come and just, I'm here and try to work it out. I think that is not really good at all.
Can you give the folks a ballpark? Because when I tell people, and I have all the guests, they don't need to be all in your business, but a ballpark. Because when I tell people the house that I'm in right now, in some places in like South Africa, even, an expensive market for Africa, this house might be $1,000 a month. And, you surely ain't getting anything in America but a box and a tin one at that for $1,000 a month. So what range? Because somebody right now is thinking, okay, I have some savings. Oh, I can pay my place off in a year. Kellen wasn't lying about that, nor were the other 100, 200 guests he had talking like this. But how much? Because then they could pay their bills, come figure it out off their savings while they're, maybe trying to blossom a business. So in which range could an apartment that you just described be in that beautiful neighborhood?
So in this neighborhood, again, my husband is Ghanaian, and I want to be honest. I feel like we have the Ghanaian price and then the Abroni or the foreigner price. So if I would have come by myself to get this apartment, it probably would have been triple the price. I probably would not have gotten it for $258 a month. I don't know how much that translates into cedis, but they charge cedis here. That's the currency. So I'm thinking you can get something. It's it's like I said, it's in East Legon. We have 1 bedroom, 1 bathroom. It's a kitchen, a living room. It's self-contained with other apartments here. So I will say between $200 a month, and you can go all the way up to $1,000, $1,500 a month, because there's some really extravagant houses here for rent. We just looked at a house It was 4 bedroom, 4 bathroom. It was like a little mini mansion, and it was about $900 a month for rent. So if you can have that for a year up front, then I say between 250 and 900. It depends on your lifestyle. Like you said, people come with children and kids. You may need more than a 1 bedroom. And you may need a little bit more. But for us right now, where we are, 250 is doable. Yeah.
250. That, I mean, what a price. And that's unfurnished, yeah.
Yeah, it's unfurnished. So we had to buy our own refrigerator. If you want AC, you have to buy your own air conditioning unit. Yeah, we have to buy like our own wardrobe because they don't really have closets here. So you have to buy your own wardrobe, our own stove top. So yeah, it's unfurnished. Now the furnished apartments, especially here in Accra, they're doing a lot of this new development. A lot of furnished apartments are renting out, but again, those are more so on the higher end. I know someone who was paying 3,500 for rent in Accra, so you can get the U.S. prices here for sure. But if you want to be frugal and you're just starting off, there are affordable places, like I said, as low as $250.
And did you guys hear that? That's the owl from Sway in the Morning, because she said that's just one of her places. They got a whole nother. And that you're gonna have to hit her up again. All the game can't be told in one interview. You got to hit up for that consulting, but that's what that was. So shining is a good thing. It inspires people to say, oh, let me try, let me get that. We have,
you can build too. People are building, so that's what we're doing in like Kumasi, and outside of Kumasi, you can build. You don't have to live in Accra. Like I said, Accra is like the Miami, I guess, of Ghana. So, but people are living outside of the city and they are building, which, you can build a house for maybe 50,000 to 300,000. Again, it depends on your needs and what you like.
And talking about, needs, if people are coming over there and they're looking to start a business, everybody can't be in tourism. Everybody can't open up a food truck like a former guest that we've had. Ghana has some rules where it would benefit you to be married to our partner, at least with someone who's there and from there. But what does Ghana need right now? Because you hear also people talk about how the Americans and foreigners, Europeans are raising up the price in Accra, like Californians and New Yorkers do when they move down south. But what is needed? Because, it's so much that's needed in Africa. And I just want to know, your opinion on that.
Definitely the infrastructure. As far as, again, we do have lights, but to keep them on, you need a generator. You do have water, but in order to have running water, you need a poly tank. So I think Ghana needs like innovative people who can see, like have foresight, who can see the future. They need parks and recreations. I know that's like a huge thing that's missing here. I know someone just opened up a sports complex here where they do bowling and trampoline. So they need more like family oriented facilities. They need better schools. If you're an educator, if you want to open a private school, that's definitely needed. So it's a lot. It's a lot. So yeah, definitely the infrastructure, the roads, the garbage is another need here in Ghana. Just trying to figure out how to, I guess I'm really not well versed on how like recycling and that kind of thing works, but just the education around how to properly dispose. And then once you dispose, where does the trash go? So that's something that I'm from Philadelphia and DC, so those aren't like the cleanest cities, but
I was gonna say, you don't know nothing about that. Yeah, being from them, yeah.
That's why I said I'm not really well versed.
Yeah, no disrespect, especially to you, Philly, but you guys are. But behind Philly, it's like parts of Boston. Oh man, I can't talk about nothing in West Africa.
So yeah, that's something that's lacking here in Ghana. Yeah.
Now, the best is yet to come. What is a community give back that you're able to do now or that you would like to do in the future?
A community give back, like here or abroad? Here.
Anywhere, even if it's in the metaverse, there are no rules.
I don't know. I like giving back to children. So whatever that means for me, I feel like the children, and this is so cliche. My sister's like, stop saying that. The children are our future.
Keep saying that.
They are our future. And adults, sometimes we're so stuck in our ways, and we have these perceptions about life and things. And I just feel like me working with children gives me hope. It gives me like, yes, we are not doomed. So my community reach back is definitely instilling whatever resource, whatever. Again, my husband and I, we have so many foundations where we go and support children, orphans, find them orphanages, just whatever, feeding the children, clothing them, educating them, whatever it is to help our children thrive, whether it's in Ghana or in Senegal or the US. That's definitely a passion of mine.
And whoever said, stop saying that cliche, we're going to play that Whitney Houston for, keep saying that. We need more of that. Because they are. They are. And if we don't sow into them, we see what we get. We can watch the news and see what we can get. Xavier University, grandma's getting killed, at a graduation. I mean, man, who thinks you had to bring a firearm to church or a graduation?
I know.
In the last days. What's the biggest, like when the kids, because I've seen adults, come to Africa and they start crying and all that. And then a lot of the guys, their mouths start watering because they were lame and they never were accepted or respected at home, for usually their personality, but they think it's the lack of money or women are this and women are that. What are some of the things that the children are like, whoa, taking it back? Are they crying as well, or do they have a whole different reaction?
I think for the most part, it's when they interact with like their peers. They are like, wow, they're kind of fascinated because sometimes what I've noticed, and I think some of the students have noticed too, is that some of the communities we go into, they are less fortunate, and the children see that, but they don't understand. Wow, how does this girl can speak 3 or 4 languages? Or, so they're kind of intrigued that they have less, but they're very poised, very like intelligent, very, open-minded. So the US students I feel like they feel sometimes that we can do better, because given that all that we have and we're struggling with all these things, but I come and I interact with my peers on a continent and they don't even have half of what I have, but they are like light years ahead of me. So I think that that's kind of like an eye opener for some of the students who come, like, oh, I can be doing better. I could be doing more. I don't have to be so spoiled.
Hold on, I need you to repeat that, because some people who haven't been yet or even haven't been to college and competed with people who are not from this country, I think that went over someone's head. Explain when the kids say they're light years ahead of me.
Yeah, I think some of the things that they think about, some of the things that they talk about is not like, the Jordans or, some of my students, the things are the things that they're talking about. And I'm like, that doesn't even matter. Like, what do you, like, they're arguing over these rappers. And I love rap music, no offense, but like, we're talking about these things that don't even matter. Students here, they're talking about like the politics. They're talking about how we can make change better, how we can do things. It's just that the things that they're talking about is so much more, I guess, higher frequency than some of the things that our youth are engaging in. So I think light years as far as the things that matter the most as we evolve as a people. Yeah.
and we all grew up on hip hop, right? But we all grew up on that. But and there's levels to that even. But even in the academics, my beautiful wife over here from Cameroon, when she came to school, she's younger than me, but she was tutoring me in the sciences, in the math. She was ready to teach calculus. I wasn't in calculus. Let me just throw that out there. I don't even want to front. But she was showing, and I'm like, how do you know the calculus? She go, we did this like when they were 12 or 14. I said, what? So that's, you guys are hearing it, the same stories over and over. We're behind. We wonder why Babylon's fallen. Yeah. You know, that this is good game. So
yeah, they're doing much more with far less. Again, we need to emphasize that the technology is not there. Again, my husband, he graduated college here with a computer science degree, and he said a lot of when he was in high school, they were doing coding manually without having any computers. But when they went to college, it was different. But in high school, he's like, I was coding manually. Like so things like that. They don't even have the technology that we have. And again, they are being way past us in some areas. Yeah.
No, this is good game, and I could do this all day, every day. But what I really want people to do is I want them to go check you out. I want them to say, please, I know you have the tour company, you're working with the kids, but I need some consulting because I'm ready to come to Africa now. Hook me up. And I tell you, people, if you do hit her up, be ready to pay, but also be ready to decolonize your mind. Because a lot of you are like a colonizer when you come to Africa without some understanding. Y'all just black on the outside.
I mean, it's the neo-colonization, the new gentrifiers.
yeah. And that's not right. You can't go to someone else's home and expect just because you have more money or you have whatever that is, and then treat the same treatment you were running away from. It sounds kind of like the Pilgrims,
that is, you are hitting it on the nail on the head. That is, a lot of that is happening. So please don't come and be that. Okay. Yeah.
Yes. So tell the people where you would like them to connect with you. If they are serious and ready, what's the best place?
So we have a website. Even my ASAP is connected to this website through our tour company. It's called BiBiNiba Tours, BiBiNiba tours.com. So there you'll find all the tour information. Then you'll find all the ASAP information. If you want to donate to our nonprofit, that's there. Also BiBiNiba Tours, we are on Instagram. You can follow us there, and ASAP.Ghana. ACCEP, also on Instagram. So that's where we are right now.
No, that's good. When you started spelling it, I said, is she about to?
Oh, yeah.
I thought you were gonna go there for it. I said, hold on, what? So
you are hilarious. You got me sitting here laughing.
Whether you guys, the majority of you are listening on iTunes, iHeart, Spotify, and our latest partner in Freetown, Sierra Leone, AYV Radio. And for the minority that actually got to see her face, and if you see her rolling around DC with suitcases full of money, just help her out to the car. It's for the kids. Don't get greedy. But on YouTube, you guys, wherever you're doing it, share this game. You've been blessed by it. Bless somebody else. It will change their life. Be blessed, y'all.
Hi guys, I'm Kai Gabiam from the Diaspora Channel, a lover of Africa. If you love Africa as well and you would love to visit one day or to relocate to Africa, there is a course out there for you. And this course is My First Trip to Africa, a course well put together by a seasoned traveler, Kellen Cash Coleman. This course is designed to prepare you to travel better, which will save you both time and money. And the great news is this course costs only $20, guys. It can't get any better. Go right now and enroll to this course at www.diversifygame.com. Don't miss out.